My name is Jane Kioe, and my project is about hate crimes in the USA. I've collected public data sets from FBI.gov, including bias types, location type, offender race, offender ethnicity, and offense type. Each data set contains two columns: key, which is the category, and value, which is the number of accidents. As for the data cleaning and preparation, I checked for missing values and outliers, but none were found. The data required minimal pre-processing as it comes from official reporting systems, which is FBI.gov. For my innovative R function, I use pivot wider. This function converts long format data into wide format, making comparisons across categories easier. And here's the code that I use. And this helped me prepare data for analysis and visualization. And I have the results right here, highlighting anti-Asian hate. As for the exploratory visualizations, I used a chart that highlights which bias types occur most frequently with this code. And here are the results of the bar graph with colors. Which bias categories are most common? The data makes it clear that some hate categories have very high incident counts, while others are extremely low. And so I wrote this code to get this result, showing which anti race protests happen the most, which with the observed, expected, and STD residual as in the results. And this also motivates my next question. Are these differences meaningful or could they just be random variation? And to answer that, I perform a chi-square test, which is the statistical analysis. I use this chi-square test and it returned a highly significant result, confirming that the distribution of bias types is not uniform. Some bias types occur significantly more than others, indicating systematic patterns in hate crime occurrences, with the result being the p-value less than 2.2 times 10 to the negative 16. And for more, I did my interpretations and conclusions for key takeaways in the chi-square test. Certain bias types, such as anti-black and anti-Jewish, occur much more frequently than others. Statistical testing confirms these differences are significant and are not due to chance. Offense types and offender demographics provide additional context, showing which crimes are common and who is involved. And for the chi-square and deeper interpretation, when I ran a chi-square test, the p-value was less than 2.2 times 10 to the negative 16, which is extremely small. That means the differences in incident counts are not due to chance, and they're statistically significant. But instead of stopping there, I wanted to understand which categories were driving the significance. So I did a ggplot on this, and here are the results with the hate crimes by bias motivations on a bar graph, on a sidebar graph. And so I calculated standardized residuals, which tell us which group occur more or less than expected. Values above 2 or below negative 2 indicate categories that are unusually high or low. This helps reveal deeper patterns behind those raw numbers. And this is the offender race chart. This chart shows the number of hate crimes offenders by race. We can see that white offenders make up the largest number of reported cases, followed by black or African American offenders, and then unknown. But it's important to understand that these are raw counts and not rates. White individuals make up the largest share of the US population, so seeing them at the top of the chart does not mean they are more likely to commit hate crimes, it mainly reflects population size. To understand whether a racial group is actually over or underrepresented as offenders, we would need to look at per capita rates, adjusting each group's count by their total population. And so here are the number of incidents that happens based on race, and here is their total population in the US. So this percentage is how much incidents happen based on their race, with Black or African American and Native Hawaiian or other Pacific Islander being the highest percentage wise. Going on to the limitations of this project, underreporting. Not all incidents are reported to law enforcement in the US. Voluntary reporting. Some agencies do not submit data consistently. Aggregated counts. Dataset lacks individual case details, which may change the categories. No time dimension. Trends over years or months cannot be assessed since all the total count is combined into one dataset without the dates. And missing context. Motivations and circumstances of crimes are unknown, meaning that some people might get baited to do a crime even though they're not at fault or they're getting forced to do that crime. As for real world implications and recommendation, I suggest that we should move resources to prevent most frequent bias types. I can also develop educational programs targeting common hate crime motivations. I can also improve reporting mechanisms to capture accurate data. I can also support affected communities with targeted interventions to get more reliable data. And here's the links to the dataset, which goes to this one. And thank you so much for listening. I hope you have a very nice day.